I would say sometimes your friendships aren't tested at that age, really.
Yeah, until you get a girl coming to that. That's when it's tested. Everybody like her.
What the new edition song there? So what? Not a jealous girl, but a jealous boy downtown.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Epic Dialogue. I am here with Marlon and Dale, and we're going to talk about growing up in the hood and the aspects of that I think will be most interesting is what kind of people you grew up around, what your friends were like, what was the hood like back in the day. And I think this is a good conversation. And hey, what's up?
What's up?
I say early on was good, man.
Early on was
It
good.
was smooth. Yeah, man. That's when the 80s life was good.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Quiet Storm, 102 Jams,
Okay.
and lots of basketball.
Lots of basketball.
Yeah, man. From sun up to sundown.
For me, I'll say I'll go into my story a little bit. Y'all both are Central Florida guys.
Yeah.
I'm a South Florida guy. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale specifically.
Jam Pony Express.
Oh yeah. Jam Pony Express. When I moved over in Royal Palm, Slick Vic was like in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
Amazingly.
How was that?
In the same neighborhood.
How was that?
I know. Yeah. JPE.
Very exciting. Yeah.
But before we moved to Royal Palm, we was in Lauderdale, and Lauderdale, they had two sides to Lauderdale. Lauderdale, one side was on one side of the turnpike, and one side of Lauderdale was on the other side. Well, the side that was the hood was called the deep side.
Oh, okay.
Deep side of the hill.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, deep side of the hill. So I stayed on the deep side. And, I think I would describe it as, poor but working class. A lot of single mothers, but still some fathers around. And the fathers that were around were kind of like, I think about Denzel Washington in Fences. Have you ever seen Fences?
Yes. Strong fathers. Yeah.
Where he talking to the son.
I don't need to love you.
I don't need to love you. I don't need to like you.
Yeah.
He said, I have a responsibility.
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing. The
Yeah.
fathers that were there make me think about that character.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I could tell a quick little story. I remember me and Frank Jr., who was one of my friends that I'm going to talk about a couple of, but Frank Jr., we had went like fishing. So we went fishing, then we went and played some basketball
Yeah.
at Royal Palm Elementary in the back, where amazingly enough, Mitch Richmond used to come and play sometime, which Mitch Richmond.
Golden State
He
Warriors.
went to my same high school.
Yeah.
He was older than me, but he went to my same high school. When I was coming in freshman year, he was in his senior year, so he was like graduating. But me and Frank Jr. went to play basketball. We coming back home and walking back home talking. Same kid I got in a fight with. We ended up being friends. Goes to show how friendships start.
Yeah.
But
Especially back then.
Back then, yeah, a lot of friendships started with a fight first.
Yeah.
But walking back home, me and him walking back home together. And this dude they called Jamaican Dave came out and started harassing us. He way older than us.
Yeah.
We middle school age. This guy's like
17 or so?
or maybe older than that.
Wow.
Maybe 19.
Okay.
Because I don't even think he wasn't even going to high school because my cousin and his brother, all of them were in high school. So he was older than them.
Oh.
So he's harassed. He was a little bit older than maybe a couple of years. And so Frank Jr. was saying to him, he kept saying stuff to us, talking noise, messing with us. And Frank Jr. said, I'm going to tell my daddy. Yeah, he one of the few kids in the hood who could say that.
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna tell my daddy. And Jamaican Dave was kind of like taking him like he wasn't serious.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I'm gonna tell my daddy. He said, you keep it up, I'm gonna tell. And he said, okay, I'm gonna tell my dad. And so we went all the way back to the house, and he went to his house because we was in townhouses. He was a few doors down from me. So he went in and told his daddy. And his daddy came back outside and got on this motorcycle. Yeah, they had a Yamaha motorcycle, like a 750. And he zoomed off, going to get at Dave, so to speak. And Dave didn't know he was coming. So we ran back through the apartment complex. We cut through, it was an apartment complex where Conrad lived. We cut through that complex because Dave was inside that complex. There was a pool near that area. And I mean, his dad went around that corner and came all the way around, and he saw Dave because he obviously knew who he was. Man, he hopped off that motorcycle and he went and grabbed Dave by his throat.
Yikes.
And literally said, don't you ever in your life talk to my son again. And he was holding like by his neck. And by the time we saw he was holding by his neck, me and Frank done ran back and caught up with him. So we get to see this.
Just recording.
Yeah.
And
we
had no cell phone.
But if we would have had a cell phone back then, I'd still be playing that because it was so satisfying to see somebody get corrected in that way. You know, it was very satisfying because he used to harass us off and on all the time. And then it never happened again. Never happened to me again. Never happened to him again after that. And he warned him. And I mean, I'm going to say this because he literally held him by his neck, but he held him by his neck and in his other hand was a pistol.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
No sudden moves.
No sudden moves.
Okay.
Talk about seeing fear on this guy. This guy was scared.
I gotta leave people
and
alone.
as he should have been, because he had no business. What you messing with somebody's kid for? He's a young kid. Me and him like 6th grade age, and you like 19, 20.
That's crazy. Yeah.
What you doing? But you know, that's kind of what happened, and you know, and I was like thinking about that when we were talking about this, and I was like, wow, you know, the difference in having a dad and not having a dad. I couldn't have said that. I couldn't say I'm going to get my dad.
Yeah.
My dad was nowhere to be found. but his dad showed up and showed out, so to speak, and set him straight. Period.
Yeah, one of those good dads.
Yeah.
I couldn't bring that to my dad. My dad you already know. Cause speaking of that, listen, we grew up same age. We was like kids together. He was just on Orla Vista side, but it was still Pine Hills, and I was on the Pine Hills side. And same kind of thing. I had one of those fathers, man, that's like upright everything. So anytime you do something wrong, don't even bring it to him because he's gonna really take it out on you. So whatever I have to deal with, I'd have to deal with it out there. So, you know, early on, I was get my little head smacked in. What I'm saying, got roughed up early on, like when I first moved. And as time go on, we had a little clique of friends. And it's funny how a lot of there was a lot of negativity in the surrounding areas, but we always had a situation where we was either playing basketball, football, and so it didn't get really dicey for us younger. It didn't get dicey till we started hitting teenage years. Yeah, later on it was like, okay, now we had to get active. But, you know, in the sense that when we was kids, it's a lot of good times. Yeah. And the friendships that we would make were like genuine friendships. One person had the Nintendo, the other one had the Sega. And we would go to each other's house. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I got a pair of shoes that he liked, okay, let's swap. We swapped the shoes. Oh, what we got today? We got them sandwiches. Okay, you get the peanut butter, I bring the bologna. So it was, man. You
Oh, you had to put the money together to buy a pizza.
there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, you go to Little
yeah.
Caesar back there.
Yeah.
You had a little slice.
Yeah.
And so yeah, them jokes would be like $1.09 or something like that. And we'll be like, hey man, we got $5. We can get like 5 slices and that crazy bread. and get to work.
In the movies.
That's it. Oh,
man.
listen, everybody know
Movie
you ain't paying for the
fanatic,
movies.
man.
One person buy one ticket, you let your homeboys back in the back. We catch about 3 movies. So those were like it was really good.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, man. It's like the fun, and even being not having a lot of money didn't even matter. You had the camaraderie.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
for real.
And then
Yeah.
that went away.
Yeah.
So what about you? Do you feel like that's Marlon's description, kind of that's the story of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think it's a reflection of the times. I mean, even at our age, even the older people, just people in general was more connected.
Yeah.
And then something happened.
Yeah.
And then people got disconnected.
Cause I think about like when I was young, like going into more, I was telling you the story about Conrad. Like it was like we had a little clique. It was Conrad, me, Michael, and I think Bernard was kind of hanging out with us too. But Conrad was the one who had kind of the consistency with his parent.
Okay.
When I say his parent was like in the morning, if it was raining, you know, his mom would ride us to work, but I had to stop riding with her. And I'm gonna tell you why.
It's too
I'm gonna tell you why. I told Marlon the story. One day it's raining, it's pouring down raining, and Conrad said, "Okay, you know, let's go, and we're gonna go and tell my mom and let her know so she can drive us to work." And so me and Michael got in the car with Conrad. Conrad mother, Jamaican, just complaining the whole ride. What are they scared of the rain? Get out of my way. And she just driving. And she going so fast, zooming through all the cars. And it's a bridge we had to go over because the turnpike was right by our house. So to drive, you got to go over a bridge to get to the school, Lauderhill Middle School. And she was zooming over the bridge, zipping through traffic. And then you got to make a left turn. And when she made that left turn, the car was up on 2 wheels.
Whoa.
And I said, Conrad, when I got out of that car, I said, this is my last time ride with your mama.
Yeah.
I said, because she drives too fast. And me and Michael said, never again.
Wow.
Never again.
What about
'Cause
Conrad?
It was raining. Conrad was laughing because he said he used to it.
Oh,
He said, that's how we drive in Jamaica.
you got Evil Knievel.
Yeah. I said, I love your mom, Conrad. She always looking out. But man, because the next time she asked, me and Michael was like, nah, we good.
Yeah.
we good.
We ain't trying to
We
lose
just
life.
go, we ain't trying to get into an accident on the way to school.
Wow.
But friendships, I just, you know, so different back then, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and as we navigate life, man, you know, the friendships back then was so what I call pure,
Organic. Yeah.
and I'll even put this word on it, innocent.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times you don't have all of the negative things that could feed into a friendship. And I would say sometimes your friendships aren't tested at that age, really.
Yeah. Until you get a girl coming to that. That's when it's tested. Everybody like her.
What the new edition song there? So what? Not a jealous girl, but a jealous boy in our town.
Yes, indeed. Yes. But you said something serious though. Like it is organic and it's like it's natural, and you don't care about things.
Right.
Like you said, you back then, man. You get in a couple
you ain't
fights.
even have things to care
Yeah,
about.
yeah, but you know, you get into a disagreement or you get
Yeah.
into a fight, and it'll be like next day it ain't even happened. It's like, yeah, and that's how the true bonding and the friendships would always be back then, and even with people that have the same kind of connection, it's the same as adults too. So, but you know,
then what happens though? You can have like
Well, I
30
think
friends when you're young. When you at your
adults
age,
have so
they
many
start-
more experiences.
Yeah.
And I think the experiences play into the dynamic of friendship because let's say that when something happens, they're not just, you have to look at the friend rather than your experiences sometimes, because you got to know people by their heart and not just people just by their actions. And that's sometimes a challenge to do.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say, okay, what's the heart of this matter? What's the heart of the person? What's, and look at everything based on that. Because if you got somebody in the mix with a bad heart,
oh yeah,
yeah, it eventually, yeah,
then you might need to rethink that friendship.
yeah.
And oftentimes we all have experiences that we filter things through. And so when we have experiences, sometimes you can have experiences with somebody who was a friend and they became not a friend. And so you have to look at all of those different things and say, how do I judge friendship? And for me, I've learned to focus on the heart of the person and say, okay, from that posture, what do I know about this person? And I think that's the way because there's no time when everything is going to be 100% perfect.
Right.
No.
But there's this understanding where everybody has to kind of understand what everybody's history and background is to a certain, because the closer you are, the more you're going to know, actually.
Right.
And the more you're going to understand how to navigate having a friendship with a person. And I think, I talked about this in one of my Kingdom Encounters thing about the friendship between Jonathan and David and how that friendship was, and how also Saul, who was actually Jonathan's father, played into that. Because I think when you look at the dynamic of that, a lot of times you see the element of what friends act like versus what non-friends end up behaving like.
Yeah. But it's funny. I mean, you ever have each friend has specialties. Like, you don't necessarily lose the friendship. You just know how some friends end up being, and they too dangerous, so you can't be around them for too long. And you have to
like
distance.
You're going in the hood, you're going to definitely have friends. You got to have a couple of friends like that.
Right.
It's some friends that I ultimately had to shed that were like that.
Yeah. But did you truly shed them, or did you just kind of like,
I shed them.
can't. Oh, you shed them?
I shed them because I had friends that when I was going to college, they were going into the game deeply. And
so that's later. But I'm mean, like when you kids.
No, but college, that's 18.
Well, yeah, I was 17.
17.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying, like, okay, so you know how it is.
Like growing up, yeah, there's some friends that I wouldn't say that I necessarily shed, but I kept my distance.
That's just a healthy distance
because they were always doing something that could get you in trouble.
That's what I'm
saying.
So
I said, okay, this person, I know I can't be around this person for an extended period of time, because if I am,
drama
this
comes
person
with this.
is going to create something that's going to pull everybody into it, and I don't want to be involved. Yeah, they'll be there. Oh, definitely.
Right. Because you know how, and you see it early, right? You have your group of friends, and you already know which ones. Yeah, he's going to be the killer. He's going to be the hustler. He's going to be the pimp. So it's like you already kind of could assess the personality of what it's going to be.
Is it what going to be a principal or a doctor?
No.
No. But I had two groups of friends. Like I had friends that were like had families, because a lot of the people, I was on the deep side, but a lot of people that I was friends with was on the other side, and the other side was where the houses were. People were a higher middle class. Like, at least they were real middle class over there. Right. I'll say the deep side was poor and the other side was middle class, because they lived in houses, they had cars and all of that kind of stuff. So I had friends on the other side, and navigating those friendships, it was easier because they weren't trying to get in trouble. Those are the kids that were ultimately going to college.
Yeah. But you know how when you're young, at least in the hood, right? Everybody wants to be the next basketball, the next athletic star, football, basketball.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to be? And not necessarily if you're going to be a boss, really, in the context of what is like fashionable.
I'm so glad that I did have that.
Yeah.
Because the people who were role models for me weren't athletes. They weren't, I never really got into a place of where I aspired to do that because, like Eric's father, I think I told you, Eric Miller, who I grew up with, his father was a businessman, owned a business. He did business with like Wayne Huizenga. He was subcontracting, doing business with him. He ran for political office and stuff like that. So his father was one of the people. And of course, the guy who I talked to you about, Adrian Hines, MCADE, who was his father on the record label. So I was always around men who had a business mindset. So,
but they were successful,
and were successful,
right? And you're around them, and you've seen the success.
And so that gave me something that I didn't have, because I didn't have men who were successful, like what before them, that was consistent in what they were doing, because they were consistent in what they were doing during that time. Now Billy had his quirks, like everybody else does, but as far as having the ability to start a business, believe in what he was doing, believe in himself, and keep going. Because a lot of people don't realize when you launching something like that, there's some fear. People forget about that part. When you move on something like that, you have to. I always think about what God said to Joshua. He said, "Be strong and very courageous." You have to actually be courageous, because it doesn't stop the risk of what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You got to move through it with courage.
Yeah.
And a lot of what, I saw back then was, those guys took risk and they moved through things with courage.
Well, let me ask you, when did it change? Because you got two peaks, right? You got when you're, in single digit ages to like mid-teens, right? And then within that space, most kids, we playing outside, we're doing whatever, and it's Michael Jordan or it's, you know what I mean? Things like that degree when you're being around them. But like when you're 15, 16, now it starts to change a little bit.
Well, that's what happened to me as I got older. When I was younger, I was more around the hood people when I was younger.
Right.
And more the people who was like selling drugs and doing the things that they shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was more around those people. As I got older, I began to choose who I wanted to be around.
See, I wanted to ask you that too, because one difference that I did see in being in our situations was that the people that was really moving weight like that or in the streets like that would be like, "Hey, y'all kids, y'all get from around here," or they would protect you. Here, give you some money, go get you a little ice cream off the ice cream truck or something. They was more protective and cognizant. As to where it is today, it's like
they don't care.
Yeah, any man for himself. Even on the little, the 9-year-old gonna get it. So, it's terrible.
I remember this was somebody who I knew that was up north in New York, and they was talking about the fact that back in the day, if somebody, even the drug dealers on the street would carry a mother's groceries to her house.
See that? I saw Busta Rhymes mention something like that.
Yeah.
They will help you with groceries. Yeah. They will keep your kids or it'll be a shield.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they would always posture themselves in such a way where if that person was coming up, they wouldn't be cursing. They'll stop cursing, all this stuff. And they'll let that person go into their place with peace, even though they know they were doing something wrong.
Right.
So, and they didn't try to rule the neighborhood by fear, making the older people in the neighborhood scared.
Yeah.
Which is the way, to me, things have changed to be more like, oh, I'm going to make everybody fear me. There's going to be no respect for anybody. Yeah. So I think when you talk about the kinds of people you begin to stay away from people who don't respect others.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because when I see people, like, you see somebody disrespecting an old lady, and you like, why I want to be around somebody like that? Because back then you felt like that person was headed for disaster if they were going to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Now people,
no morals, no principles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think about those friendships, man. Those friendships, you had to sever people who were destructive towards themselves, because if they didn't love themselves, they definitely don't love you.
Yeah, they'll turn on you.
Yeah.
For real. So it made me like when I was I did some comparison, and I was just thinking about when I was thinking about Jonathan and David, and it was what got me was that one of the things the scripture talks about is he loved him as his own soul. So it goes to this context of loving your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
Loving the person the same way you would want.
That's a brother. That's the true bond. That's the brotherly love. Yeah.
That's kind of a foundational respect. And to me, when you saw guys that were selling drugs up north, this guy was talking about carrying the mother's grocery or whatever woman they see up to her place, that kind of brotherly love, even though I'm doing something wrong, I still respect you.
Yeah.
I'm still not going to treat you with disrespect because you're an elder. You deserve to be respected. And when you start, to me, losing that love thy neighbor as thyself, meaning I'm treating this woman the way I would want somebody to treat my mama.
Mm. Yeah.
That's what it really is.
Yeah.
Even though I'm out here doing something, this is the way I want my mother treated. So I'm going to treat this woman that exact same way.
But that all went away.
But why? It didn't even disappear in the midst of doing wrong things during that time.
Because what we talked about in the other show, character went away.
I think glorifying the negative, being negative, changed everybody's mentality towards the moral aspects of society. Yeah. When you start getting glorified for being more of a beast,
you get praised for being foul.
Yeah, They
And
that dude is.
It's no value in being a good person.
Yeah, they said that dude was a beast.
He says no value in being.
No, I'm saying that's the mindset. And what they call it, nice guy finish last.
Yeah, that's technically part of the brand. Unfortunately.
So, what's different about people to where they don't love people as themselves?
It's a disconnection.
Mm-hmm.
As much as we don't want to mention that part, that there was a connection. Everybody went to church. Everybody had values and had connection to God, like true connections.
Yeah.
Would have different levels of respect for it, and they started getting away from it because the preacher was stealing all the money. And so I said, man.
So what year you think the shift happened?
Well, personally, you want to give me my honest opinion?
Yeah.
Where I kind of saw where it was going.
1200 BC.
I should say that, but in my lifetime, where I saw a complete switch when I started to see it was probably 94, 93, 94. I started to really pay attention. We know how we'd be talking, and we would literally see the atrocity. Like, man. Like, really, you did that?
Wow.
And callousness of it.
Yeah, I think there was definitely a shift in the 90s, but I think the biggest thing too was a shift in the cultural messages.
Yeah. They got darker.
Shift. They got darker.
Yeah.
We can bring a bunch of different things to the table. It wouldn't be just some people say, oh, gangster rap. Well, not that alone.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot of shifts in the culture. And I think the way people behaved who were doing wrong shifted too, dramatically.
Yeah.
And I think real friendship disappeared and it was replaced with this
transaction.
I'm gonna add a word that I think that we talked about before: selflessness and selfishness. I think people got more focused on how can I come up above everybody, and I don't want.
And then they start working people over.
I don't want to. I don't want anybody else to come up with me. I'm the only one that want to come up.
Oh.
And when you have that attitude, what comes into play? It's hard to maintain friendships because now if somebody got more than me, I'm jealous of them.
Yeah.
I'm envious of them.
Yeah.
In real friendships, there's no jealousy.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talk about David and Jonathan. Jonathan had more right to the throne than David did, theoretically,
Yeah.
because his father was king.
Yeah.
And he recognized what God was doing in David and basically said, this is the guy who should be on the throne.
Yeah.
How do you, unless you really have an understanding of, spiritual things and knowing, what God is doing with a particular person, and you're friends with that person, you understand what God is doing with that person.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible to do that kind of thing. And when you're selfish, it's even more impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got
to play your role. That's what he did too. A lot of people just everybody want to be at the top, but everybody can't be at the top. It's roles in life that we got to play.
And so when that person is called to do that thing, what is my role in that person's life if I'm a real friend?
You ever think about this when your kids and your friend with your homies, the support is there. Support is there. And like you say, the jealousy is not there because it's about us. We're going to win, right? But as you get older and as a lot of people start to succeed, and they want to share it because people always act like the person that is succeeding is changing. But sometimes the perception of the people that's around you is what's changing, is what people realize now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, instead of you support me like you did when we was kids, you're working against me. And it's like you despising the fact that I have a spotlight around me.
But that's when it's just the idea of the friendship or the idea of making it. That's when it's the we. But then when somebody actually start to make it, it's not the we anymore.
But that works two ways too, right?
Yeah.
You can have the person who starts to make it, and his heart really hasn't changed, right? Yeah. But these people start to see him differently. Yeah. And then you can have the person who starts to make it
and hate
everybody.
It's all about me.
It can work. It can work both ways. It can become a very selfish thing. Is like, why don't you go and get your own? I got mine. And so, I'm just saying, all of those kind of things, all those things can happen. It becomes a competition for that because it's hard to be really good friends and constantly compete with one another.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things you can like, hey, we'd like to go out and play basketball. We like to go out and play golf
pool or
whatever.
Yeah.
That's healthy. But when it starts to be in the everyday things of life, when it starts to be in every little aspect, you're competing against one another, you're measuring yourself against that person. You can't measure yourself against that person because what they call to do and how they go about their life and the disciplines and the things that they have in their life may be totally different than yours.
Yeah.
And when that's the case, measuring yourself against somebody will frustrate you.
Yeah.
And it'll make you angry at that person. It'll make you envious of that person. It'll make you all kinds of things. So you always have to say, okay, how am I supposed to measure things for me? Not against somebody else. I'm not measuring myself against somebody else. I'm measuring myself based on what God has called me to do. And I'm going to measure myself against what God has for me and the things it's going to take me to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I measure myself. I measure myself against what I believe I'm called to do. And I say, am I doing the things I need to do to get there?
Right. But it's not singular. And that's what, when you look at David and Jonathan, them jokers move as a unit.
Yeah.
And they think, and he even moving against his father, knowing.
Yeah.
It's like, see, that kind of loyalty and that kind of, man, I don't know.
But his father was evil.
Yes, of course.
His father was evil.
But you know how they do today? They defend evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the bro. You can know this dude done got 10 bodies on him. You know what I'm saying? This dude is a serial killer.
It's like having a friend like Bishop.
Yes.
Juice.
Yes. And how many people basically shed a tear when Bishop died. See, when he was knocking off everybody else, everybody was okay with it. But once he died, it's like, oh man, Bishop.
It's like that's the kid you don't want to be around either. You see how everybody trying to get away from him, but they can't.
Yeah,
they stuck. And Manny was evil. Man. Totally.
But it's just looking at people and saying, okay, how do I continue to become a better version of myself so I am the kind of friend that fits, what Jonathan was, not jealous, not competitive, able to support David's calling, able to, do things to put him in a position to strengthen his walk with God and to see his destiny come to pass. Because that's really what friends should do with one another, because all of us, we might have paths that have some parts that are together, but then we got parts that aren't together. So how do I support him in the part that I may not be a part of? And that's what you got to be.
Yeah.
And in the parts that you are a part of, you support them in that too, and they support you. It's reciprocal in those cases, not because it's a reciprocation is required, but because it comes from the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes from the spirit man.
Spirit man.
Yeah. You got to get that right.
Yeah.
Well, you can't it's hard to be a good friend without getting that right, because you start comparing.
Yeah.
Our natural mind wants to compare. Our natural mind wants to compete, because men are kind of built that way. Because if you're a hunter by your natural instincts, there's something in you that wants to compete. And there is a place for competition. But there's a heart posture that still has to be right to deal with that competition in the right kind of way, so it doesn't go to a place where it shouldn't go.
Yeah.
Because you need competition you can't have football players without people having a competitive mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't have all of these sports we have.
You just got to respect the rules.
You got to respect the rules.
Yeah.
And that goes with life. See, that same principle goes with life.
Yeah.
When somebody gets mad at somebody on the football field and hits them after the call.
Yeah. Flag. Penalty. Yeah.
And it's kind of the same principles. It's recognizing what's in that person and how you can support that.
Yeah. Discernment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's the spiritual component to it. But a lot of people don't have that. So we talk about culture now. You got culture. I think if you're not going to have a spiritual component to being a good friend, I think you at least need to hone your patience and understanding and empathy. You need to make those things stronger inside of yourself.
Right.
Because if you don't, every time you misstep, every time they misstep,
it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. That man in the mirror. You got to understand yourself first, then you'll understand others.
So what about the Saul side of this? The bad side of this.
Don't be Saul.
He saw what was in David. Just like Jonathan saw what was in David. Jonathan saw a king in David, right? And Saul saw a competitor.
Yeah, Saul was like...
Well, he got the message, though, right? Somebody tapped him on the shoulder and said, hey, you about to be replaced.
he was like the dude in Belly eating a banana, man.
But when there's no acceptance, that's what but the thing is, that's when there's no acceptance of the destiny.
Mm-hmm. What
do? When you got a Saul mindset, you fight it.
Yeah.
You try to destroy it.
I don't like that.
You come after that person who got the destiny that conflicts with you. This conflicts with me. I'm the king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to pass the throne to who I want to pass the throne to.
Yeah.
And it's not you.
Yeah. It's not.
It's not you.
But it is, though.
Hatred.
That's where that comes back into play.
Yeah.
Because now you're envious of what you see on this person. You're envious of this person's life. You're envious of what this person has been blessed with. So,
yeah, so on that note,
you got any finishes touches?
I don't want to. I want us to close. We do need to close this out, but because this was a good episode talking about, the things in the past, our friendships. I think recognizing the completely different responses of a Jonathan mindset versus a Saul mindset with your friends is important for us. That's the man in the mirror thing. How am I responding? Am I feeling like I got to compete with this person? Am I feeling like I'm envious? Am I feeling like I'm jealous of something this person has that I don't have? It's hard to be a friend and to have those feelings.
Yeah.
And then, am I being a Jonathan? Am I being a person who supports this person in whatever if I see this person's calling is a certain thing, am I being supportive in that? Am I not competing with this person? Am I seeing his path versus seeing my own path and knowing that each path is valid?
Yeah.
Even if my path don't seem right now to have the same pinnacle that his path had. Am I happy for him? I always ask, that's one of the big things. Are you happy for the person?
Yeah.
Humility.
You have to be, yeah. Isn't that what you said earlier before about selfishness?
Yeah.
Love is selfless.
Selfless or selfish?
Yeah.
Those are the two simple words.
Yeah.
The two simple words you use to judge and use that mirror to look. And you can look at other relationships and help people diagnose their issues, because sometimes people can't see themselves and you have to help them. Yeah. Say, let me help you see yourself.
Like Morris Day, keep a mirror in your back pocket. Make sure your hair
Get
straight.
Jerome up there holding it on stage. The Jerome up there holding it on stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what this has been about, and I appreciate us going back in the time machine a little bit and thinking about the past, but thinking about how friendships are real friendships in our current time in life.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important, because a lot of people out there be feeling isolated.
Yeah.
And you say, well, I don't have no friends. Well, you're not friendly.
Yeah. That's usually what it is.
Yeah. And are you being a good friend versus being a not so good friend?
Yeah.
But anyway,
yes,
brothers,
like
a real
follow,
good episode.
subscribe.
Yes,
Don't
a real
forget
good
that.
episode.
Jam it.
Follow, subscribe,
Jam it.
Thumbs up,
and interact and comment. So I consider commenting just as important as like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. So thank you so much, brothers. Appreciate it. Let's close this one out.